All right. First of all, welcome everyone to Agile Coaching Roundtable. So this is our 27th session in ACRT, and in 2023, this is our first session. And topic for today is what's next for Scrum Masters and Agile coaches beyond a single team. I'll quickly share my screen and get started. Let me know if you are able to see my screen.
Yes, we can see.
Yes, we are able to see.
Okay. And I'll, in the meantime, turn off my video so that I don't face any issues. All right. So to begin with, the reason why we have picked up this topic is obviously nowadays, wherever you see or wherever you go or talk about, everyone wants to become a scrum master. It's like be it IT or be it non-IT, everyone wants to become a scrum master. And there is no clarity on the career path, especially for the people who are coming from non-IT background and they have somehow landed the job as Scrum Master. And they are really facing challenges as in what would be the career path ahead after a point. And third main reason is attrition or layoffs. As you all know that recently, like in Capital One, only agile jobs were laid off, right? And people got laid off who were working as the be it Scrum Master or agile coaches or be it consultant or whoever, right? So they got laid off, and now people started getting insecure about what next. I mean, are we also going to face the same issue, or what will happen to us? We are working as Scrum Masters, and after a point, what we need to do. So we thought maybe since too many people are asking about it, we thought let's cover this topic. Though I'm not agile guru or an expert to say that this is how it is going to be, but with whatever little knowledge I have, I thought maybe this could be one of the ways, and I could be completely wrong. There could be some other perception, and to each its own. But what I thought, what would be the career path ahead. So just to start with, what I would like to just mention is that um, since there is lot of attrition going on, or maybe people are thinking twice about hiring agile roles. So what I would say is, I'm not sure what will happen in the long run, but what I know for sure is that though the roles specific to any framework may or may not continue, but agile is going to stay. That is what I feel. I mean, since we have seen that agile ways of working is really helping organizations uh, in delivering value to the customer, and accommodating the changes, or maybe building frequently, right? So agile is definitely going to stay from that perspective, because definitely traditional ways of working is becoming redundant or difficult for many of the organizations. Having said that, there are still organizations which will still operate in traditional ways, where there is no scope for agile, where the world is not that complex enough. But maximum, wherever you see there is this digitalization happening in such areas, definitely agile is going to stay. So for all those people who are really prepared to come out of that comfort zone of becoming a Scrum Master and thinking beyond maybe a Scrum framework, for all those people, I would say there is no need to worry about what will happen in future, because since agile is going to, then maybe lean concepts will be more imperative, or lean and agile would come as a package. framework may come and go or change. That obviously would happen, but agile in general would be there, is what I feel, based on whatever knowledge or experience that I have. So what I thought is, and maybe I'll cover in different levels what all things that we have in future for us, or maybe it what all things we can focus on, right? So first is obviously the scrum master, can also be called as scrum coach or a team level coach. So basically, um, whoever is working as a scrum master, maybe they can also be called as team level coach, because they are coaching teams, but at a very specific team level, or team level as in handling a single team or maybe a multiple team. So specifically for single team, they are still called as team level coaches or scrum coaches. Only difference is, when we talk about agile coaches are framework agnostic, whereas when we talk about scrum masters are the coaches for scrum framework. That is the only difference. So what we do generally, when we say we are team level coach or scrum coach, right, we talk about, or maybe we take care of team effectiveness, and we focus on teaching, coaching, training, mentoring on agile practices or scrum practices, right? And also we focus on helping a team in building the collaboration, or address the processes, technical challenges, and also making them self managing on all those things. But these are all happening at the team level. Now when you go beyond the team, what is there in for you? So that is where we call it as program level coach. So in this entire session, what I have done is, we would be still talking about agile, but as I mentioned, I have tried to make it from the coach perspective, because we don't know what these titles or roles can be called, and that is subjective to change as per the organization. But overall, I try to put it from the context of the scale that they are going to work on. So the scale for Scrum Master is just a team. That is a single team. So when it comes to little bigger scale, we call it as program level. We can say program level or engagement or account, whatever we may want to call, right? So what happens is, when we go beyond a team, or when we talk about multi teams, is when we talk about cross team alignments, the structures, whether it is component based, whether it is feature based, and we coach them on the integration of both the teams work, right? Or multiple teams work. For example, what will happen when they want to plan for a release, or what could be the frequency of the release? How can we help them in building that release roadmap? And how can we resolve their dependencies? What are the risks? How can we highlight or mitigate those risks? So all these things, maybe we can go a level beyond the single team, and also think about the best practices for multiple teams, and also concentrate on the business value. So this, when we talk about program, a program may have multiple teams under it working for a single product. So the things that you work as a scrum master for single team, all those things are applicable, but now you are just coming out of that arena, now looking at the multiple teams level. So this is exactly what I had done when I had started off as a scrum master, and after I completed certain time as a scrum master. So when I got into as a scrum master, uh, initially obviously I was working in a project which was on scrum framework, but later on I went ahead and worked as a scrum master for safe framework. So obviously when we talk about safe framework, I'm not going to talk about technicalities of safe framework, whether it is agile or not. That's a different story altogether. But when I worked as a scrum master for safe framework, obviously there are multiple teams working on a single product, right? So initially, I started focusing on only my single team. And when I thought that my team is now kind of achieved, or I mean, they are able to manage, they have become self-managing and they can manage their work in a better way, is when I thought now this team does not require my full-time attention, or maybe they are managing their work pretty much well, is when I went ahead and taken up one more team under me, and as a Scrum Master, and that's why I started managing two teams. Now I have to like um, do whatever I did for one team. I have to replicate it for other teams. So obviously, the approaches would change, and the methods would change, and our coaching style would change, and everything based on the team dynamics. But now I have two teams to handle. Now, once I felt that this team also got comfortable a bit, I mean, I'm now able to manage, is when I started looking at the level up. That means in that project, there were almost like 12 to 13 teams, if I'm not wrong, under SAFE framework. And I started looking at the wider range of things. That is when I thought maybe I'm stepping into like program level coach. I started looking at all the dependencies, which team is dependent on which thing, and what is the team structure like, is each team doing their work comfortably, efficiently, or what are the practices, software development practices that one team is following, which can which I can implement for other teams. So these are the things I started looking for multiple teams. And along with that, not only for teams, I also try to bring in all the Scrum Masters together. And I started maybe discussing things like what is working for you, what is not working for you. Can we bring in some good practices or best practices, or how can we improve our stuff? So these are the conversations I started leading, and maybe I started having the connects once a week with the Scrum Masters also. So that way I started building this kind of binding things together, because we want to bring in best practices for every team, and yet work in tandem with everyone in collaboration, right? And when it becomes, I mean, it becomes even more difficult when like there are so many teams working together. There would be interdependencies, there would be a lot of collaboration required, and yet you want to be like super efficient and super self managing. So that is where I started looking at the wider thing. And the reason why I have put this release roadmap over here is, if you really want to look at the starting point, as in where I can go next, right? To the next level at the program level, release roadmap planning would be something I would say you can just have a look at. What will happen is when you look at the release roadmap, you will understand how many parts are involved, or how many teams are involved, what is the dependency, how soon can we, what should be the frequency, how soon can we release something in the market. And to do that, backtracking things and then working, so kind of doing a reverse engineering and operating at then team level. So all these things will start coming into picture, so that can be your starting point. I'm not saying that that should be the one, or whether you should be doing it or not, but that worked for me, and that's how I then moved on to the next level, that is program level. So when you come to program level, you are not just going to look at focus on like just your team level things, but you are going to just look at the wider range of things. And next would be technical coach. So when I say technical coach, it's not that technical coach is like above program level coach or below. So there is no hierarchy in any of this, right? But what I would like to put across is technical coaches, or maybe the type of different coaches that we are going to see further, can be operated at a single team. It can be operated at a program level, at a enterprise level, at a BU level, or wherever is applicable. So basically, this is for all those people who feel that oh god, what will happen for me? I mean, what will happen if there is so much layoff going on? I'm just a scrum master. So what I would suggest is, if you are good at some technical or some technical skills, or maybe if you have any technical skills or you are good at some technology, I would say just do some retrospect or introspect on what technology you are good at, right? And have that deep understanding on that technology. Second is, maybe if you feel that no, I am not good at that technology, maybe I am good at technical excellence in terms of maybe I know how we can implement uh, complementary practices with agile, or how can I implement the best software development practices, or TDD or BDD or DevOps or automation of testing or solution architecture excellence. So all these things also you can take care of. And when I say you can take care of, that does not mean that you will have to sit and write a code, or you'll have to build a CI/CD pipeline, or write TDD test cases and all those things. But what I'm trying to say is, having knowledge on such technical things will help you guide teams or coach teams in a better way. So along with whatever knowledge you have of any framework, it could be Scrum, it could be Safe, Nexus, Less, or whatever, Kanban, whatever it could be. If you have knowledge about these technical skill set, or have this technical skill set, you can become a technical coach. And also, when we say a technical coach, you should also be having that system thinking. With when what is system thinking, there is some application or a product that you're building. So what is required for the efficiency of this product end to end? So think about the big picture, think about the system as a whole. So take decisions accordingly. So all these things, technical things you can get into, that is something called as a technical coach. And nowadays, even if you see the job descriptions of many positions, right, they mix many things. People say this is a technical project manager, or maybe they say we want a technical coach who is proficient in Java, or proficient in .NET, or proficient in DevOps. So this is what they mean. They do not want someone who is just operating at the team level, but they want someone who can give technical coaching or technical guidance to team members. So this is what is about technical coach. And as I mentioned, this technical coach can operate at any level. It is not that it cannot be done at team level, or maybe at program level or BU level. There is no layer to it. You can become technical coach at whichever level. But if you want to really tap on this area, or want to try this path, maybe I'll say, while you are a scrum master or a team level coach, you can try doing all these things. At least you will figure out for yourself whether you are fit for this technical coaching or not. Okay. Next is business and product coach. Uh, this is another aspect or another area where you can try your hands on. If you have any experience on any domain, or maybe you have a strong domain knowledge, or you understand some of the business aspects of it, or if you understand the product management side of things, is when you can become the product or business coach. So sorry, there are many product managers who feel that to coach a product owner or a manager, agile coach is not a right fit, right? Because they don't have understand this area. So that is where, or that is the opportunity where you can become the business or the product coach. And obviously, as the name suggests, you should have a strong product knowledge or a domain knowledge. Second is what you can coach on. You can coach on OKRs, goal, do the strategic planning. How can you improve the business sides of thing? How can you achieve the business goals? How can you convert those business goals into your backlog items, and then how can you build a strategy or a roadmap. So all these things you will be able to coach on when you become a business or a product coach. You can also help product owners or product managers on product roadmap. How can you craft a product roadmap? How can you achieve the product discovery? How can you do lean budgeting? When we say lean budgeting, instead of budgeting for projects, how can you budget for maybe products or value streams and all those things. So in this session we are not going to get into details of what these are or how are we going to achieve all of this, but and in this session we are just giving you directions, as in what all things you can think of, or maybe tap on in terms of having the career path in different directions. So for business coach, coaching on product roadmap, or maybe coaching on product discovery, lean budgeting, or value stream mapping, all these things will help your teams or your customers or stakeholders a lot. And nowadays, uh, if you see any opportunities, they want more of a business coaches. Why am I saying this? If you see, even for Capital One, in that for that matter, they fired agile coaches, they fired scrum masters, but they did not fire product management guys or product managers. That is because according to them, these product guys can very well take care of scrum master's job or agile coach's job, because one person can do more than one role, right? So if you are well versed with the product management, you would be able to guide team members accordingly. So that is the reason why you would have seen that product managers are someone whose job is not really at stake. I mean, they are not the first people to get laid off, and it's the scrum masters or agile coaches or whatever. This is the reason. So if you want, you can get into the business or a product coach as well. You will still be working in agile, and yet you would be helping the product managers, clients, or organizations on the business aspects of it. So whenever I'm talking about these different coaches, you will be still working with agile in mind, or maybe agile ways of working, but with different streams to it. Okay. Next one is enterprise agile coach. So enterprise agile coach is someone who works at the organization level. So he or she is someone who drives entire agile adoption. He or she is someone who leads the change. When I say change, obviously, when we talk about agile adoption, it requires a cultural change. We cannot say that we are not flexible enough, or we don't want to change our ways of working, and we want hierarchy to be maintained and yet do agile. That is not possible. So what will happen is, if you do not lead that change and lead by example, by being agile, it becomes very difficult for you to convince people, or maybe ask people to change, because that is the first emotion. I mean, denial is the first emotion when someone will ask you to change, right? So you will face a lot of friction, but yes, you will have to lead the change if you want to work at an enterprise level. So what you would be coaching on? So you would be coaching on uh, driving the agile adoption. You would be working on strategic planning for change. You would be coaching the higher level management on lean agile mindset. You would be trying to I mean, you would be providing that culture and environment so that people can apply agile ways of working. Or I mean, being agile is very ambitious to start with. At least start applying agile ways of working to just begin with. So to drive all these things, you need an environment or a cultural change, and that is very important. So you, as an enterprise agile coach, you are going to coach on lean agile mindset and culture, and bringing that environment. And also, when we say enterprise agile coach, not necessary you would be just working in the IT department. There would be other aspects or other departments also. How can you at least try to implement agile in other departments also? So nowadays I have seen there are some companies who have adopted agile ways of working for say HR as well, or recruitment, or maybe in L&D. So this change is seen slowly, but it will take a lot of time for us to reach over there. So when you say you're enterprise agile coach, you are going to work at that organization level. You are going to coach leaders, executives, and organizational level managers to adopt agile and drive that entire transformation for agile. So and one of the ways how can you move to this level is, first start with the team level, then go to your program level, then go to your department or a BU level. So first just look in your house, how are you operating. Once you are operating fine in your house, then look at neighbors. And once you have taken care of the neighbors, then look at your building. How can you bring that change into your building, and then look at your society. So that's how you can do your enterprise agile coach path. That will become easier for you to start with it. And obviously whenever you go ahead and say that this is how I want to apply, you will get denial obviously. So for that purpose, what you can do is you can show some success stories. So if you say that you have worked on one program, and they are like adopted agile successfully, then you can maybe present that case study or showcase that success story to your higher level folks, and say that see, this project is successfully running on agile, and they are seeing the results. And obviously you will have to talk with numbers. And once that is done is when you are showing that when you are going to move to the level up. That is when you're going to do the take up more programs as a agile coach, or maybe drive that transformation at your BU level. And once that is done, maybe you can slowly move ahead to the enterprise agile coach. So this way you can transition slowly and slowly. And obviously when we are going to talk about agile coaching, we have to be framework agnostic. That means even if you're not following any framework, you should be able to guide teams on agile ways of working, right? Or you cannot say that I just know Scrum framework and I want to become an agile coach. You should have knowledge of all other framework, yet you should be framework agnostic. You cannot be biased for one particular framework, because you never know what what are the what is the need of that particular program or a product or a solution. And based on the need is what you are going to apply a framework on. So you should be able to do that. You should be able to provide them the options with a different framework. And based on the ways of working or nature of work is what you're going to apply your framework over there. So this is what the enterprise agile coach is. And next one is the last one. Yeah, and before moving to the next one, so when we talk about all these level coaches, right? These coaches can be internal coaches also, or external coaches also. So when we talk about internal coach, that means you would be like a full-time employee of an organization as a coach, working at different levels, as we talked about, or different aspects or branches. Or you could be on a contract position also. So when we say contract position, you would be hired with some agenda, or with some goal in mind, that you are going to work for so and so program for so and so months. And once that is done, you would be moving out of the project, or out of your contract would end, or maybe you would be moving out of the organization. Or else if they want you to take care of some other programs also, that could also happen. So what happens, I mean, obviously there are pros and cons for both the types of uh, coaches or maybe contracts. So if you're like full time coach, you don't have to worry about your uh, end date or deadline or all those things. You would be like full time employee. You would get like monthly salary, and your payment is not going to be according to your time period or according to your assignment. But when it comes to agile external coaches, it would be obviously per assignment or maybe per contract. And best part would be when you are like external to the team, you don't become biased. You would see, apply system thinking, and whatever is best for the team is what you are going to suggest your team, right? So both of them has got the pros and cons. So it is up to you to decide whether what works for you. And the last is agile consultant. So agile consultant is a bit different to what agile coaching is. In coaching, we generally say that we do not provide solutions. We help teams to identify the inner potentials and help them solve their own problems. But when it comes to agile consultant, you provide solutions to their problems. It could be team, or it could be a program, or it could be for the customer. It could be anyone you are providing that consultation to. So you would be there hired as an agile consultant, and what you would do is you would be given some problem statement or maybe some project. Let me call it as a project for the sake of understanding. So they would say that I want you to help on driving the agile transformation for my project, because we are having issues and we are having problems. And as an agile consultant, what you're going to see is you will obviously see what is going wrong and what are the key areas that you want to focus on. Based on that, you're going to give solutions to them, offer a solution saying that this is how you can do, this is the framework you can apply, or these are the processes or practices you can adopt. So basically agile solution is what you're going to provide it to them. So your ground would be on tools, processes, practices, framework, and agile adoption. So all those things would be your uh, areas of focus. And when I say that you're going to provide these solutions, even if there is even if there is not a big assignment or a big problem to solve, you would be still put at a team level also. That could also be possible, that you come over here, join these two teams, give some solution to the teams, and then after they are settled, you move out. So this could also be one way of agile consulting. And whenever you go as an agile consultant, you should keep big picture in mind. I mean, you should give solutions. Not You should not just think about one team, but you should also see what that impact is on of that team in the bigger world, right? So based on that is what you're going to give the solutions or consultation on. So these are some of the branches in agile is what you can do. And obviously when you also do agile consultant, or when you play any other role, you could also contribute to the organization in a way of working on the pre-sales or a RFP, or working on the defining or refining policies across the organization. So these are also the things that you can take care of, or start some initiatives of COPs or COEs and regarding agile. So all these things are the areas where you can focus on, apart from just concentrating or focusing on your single team. So as I mentioned, you could still be called as a coach, but at a team level. So if you really want to up your game, so these are the things that you can pick up. And this is what is a summary of what we have talked about. It's team level coach, then program level coach, technical coach, business or a product coach, enterprise agile coach, and agile consultant. So these are the uh, different streams which I could think of. As I mentioned, I'm not saying that these are the only things or this is how it is going to be. I could be wrong, but then this is what I felt are the different areas that we can think about when we talk about working in an agile environment. Vivek, anything that you would like to add?
Uh, no, Ramya, I think you have pretty much covered it in detail, and I completely align to what you covered up. But yeah, I mean, I don't have anything to add.
Okay. So I think we can take up questions in that case. Anyone would like to ask or add anything on this? Any questions?
Yeah. Hello, Ramya. My name is Mahesh.
I'm
So,
Mahesh.
yeah, my question would be like, since you said the time is changing, and with that, we need to even care up for the new challenges. So, how like easy? I don't think it is that easy to switch the context. The moment you say you are technical coach, coach means you should know in and out, and you can't give them half solutions or inappropriate solutions. So a person who is having like limited knowledge, technical knowledge, I would say technical knowledge, how he can scale up to certain extent that he can go and guide a team of people who are fully technical.
Correct. So obviously that is a good amount of hard work and research, I would say,
Mhm.
because if you have to think, even for the Scrum Master, right?
Yeah.
Scrum Master is not also that easy a job where you say that no, I can be non-technical or a technical, yet I can go there and coach, because everyone is working there and they know their job best, right? When you go and work as a Scrum Master, you're not working on the ground with the team or not coding and all, but yet you know how you can guide teams on, right? And if you feel that you have got that technical knack and you
Yeah.
can pull off, right? For an example, if you ask me, I mean, I may not be like technically sound like many others, but at least what I know, that I'm at least good at maybe software development best practices. Maybe I can guide people on how well can we have the uh, marriage of the best practices in agile. Maybe it could be any best practices, like right, it could be like automation, or it could be like DevOps, right? So these are the things I know that I may not have to really sit and establish all those things, like I want to build a pipeline or CI/CD pipeline, or I want to do automation testing. But I know for the fact that those things will really help you. So you need not be like having clear understanding of working to the T, but at least you should have the enough knowledge for you to guide others, right? So just imagine, even when team members are working on any user stories or any requirement for that matter, right?
Yeah.
In agile, what we say is you need not understand the requirements to the T when you start, right? So as you progress in your sprint is when you will discover few things, and is when you are going to take up those things. Similarly, to start with, as a technical coach, if you have technical knack, maybe you can start working on maybe single stream which you feel you could do justice to, and while you coach teams on that is when you will realize, okay, with this I will also have to take care of other things, maybe I'll have to learn other things. That's when you will improve or build upon it.
Yeah, yeah. But how do we crack that position? Because most of the times, like if you want to climb something, so they would ask, okay, how you have done previously, or what you have done previously. So
So
even though to get into that role, you should have like previous experience, right? Like you can't say I was Scrum Master, but I want to do now technical coaching.
that is true for any role, I would say. I mean, experience is obviously required. So as
Yeah.
I mentioned, to start with, you can apply whatever knowledge you have for your own team, for a
Okay.
single team. If you
Okay.
feel that your team is benefiting out of it, or you see that you get some confidence in applying to the team, is when you maybe think about multiple teams. And with that experience, maybe you can apply outside also for the proper rules.
Yeah. Another point I would like to highlight is you said like previously you were coaching for one team, and later when the team became self sufficient and they can manage themselves, and you moved and you took responsibility of second team. So as I know, like in most of times, what happens like when we start spending less time in our first team, that's how the things start slipping. So you'll see where they used to do well, and when someone is not tracking and there is no traction, so things may start go wrong. So how do we tackle that one as well?
So, when we say that, see, a team is self-managing, right?
Yep.
So that means team is really not dependent on a scrum master. In that case, that does not mean that you're going to leave that team completely. You cannot say that I am leaving this team, but I'm looking at the wider things. You still have to look at your current team, but the amount of efforts that you have to put in for that team would be less. But then you will not leave that team and say that no, now this team is completely done, and then I'm going to look at the other things. And when we say that team is now comfortable, what I mean is, obviously when you if you're working as a scrum master, then you would know that scrum master is optional for, say, daily scrum, right? But do you really don't attend the daily scrum? That does not happen. Actually, I mean, at least I have not seen some scrum master saying that my team is self sufficient or self managing. I don't want to attend that daily scrum, right? But when you really feel that your team is self managing, then you don't need to attend that daily scrum daily, right? If at all they feel that your team feels that you need to be there, is when you're going to attend that daily scrum. So that is how you can slowly take off the responsibilities of a single team, and then take over additional responsibilities.
Okay. Thanks, Ramya.
Thank you, Mahesh. Anyone else? Any other question? Okay. Uh, no other question in
Can I
that.
ask one more question?
Yes, please. Yes,
Yeah.
please.
Like how I think most of the time, I think the Scrum Master or like Agile coach, he would know face problems or the team needs Agile coach time while setting up things. So like from the scratch, or you are building something, or some new work has come, and so in on those grounds, like is there any new techniques has come up or something that people should aware, any of those sorts?
See, uh, techniques. Basically, I mean, obviously, when we talk about agile coaching techniques, it would be like asking powerful question, active listening, and all those things, right?
Hmm.
Having said that, whenever you approach your team, a new team as an agile coach or maybe as a scrum master, uh, what you would do is you would figure out your own ways of working, or you would figure out your own approaches, right? You cannot say that, I mean, this is what I'm saying with my experience. I have seen whatever approaches or techniques that I have applied for one team, not necessary that same things would be applicable for other teams also.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
is because every team is different. So you
Mm.
will have to figure out what works for your team, and that will only come with experience and practice. So there is no template or a set rule that this is how it is going to work universally across. So that is to each its own.
Yeah.
I think I have seen Mugda is unable to mute. I think Mugda, I see you are unmute because I don't see unmute for you. Mugda, I think you can just try speaking or maybe asking the question, typing on the chat. Okay. Any other question from anyone, or any thoughts? Okay, then I take it as a no from you guys then. Vivek, any closing notes from you before we close?
Yeah, one thought, not a question, Ramya.
Yes.
Right. Hey guys, this is Vish. So great. Thanks, Ramya, for walking us through all these nuances. Right. But good thing what I have observed in your presentation and as in the industry. So though we say, I mean, see, first of all, we are the Scrum Masters or Agile coaches. We are required for sure. Right. Maybe at the financial crisis of one or two company here and there may exercise us as easy targets or soft targets. But that said, I'm sure even those companies, when they are in a good financial condition, the manager, the delivery manager, whoever it is, who are used to have the luxury of Scrum Masters or etc., they would certainly come back again and hire to save their time and make their lives easy. And that said, good thing, all these roles are kind of, have the transferable skill sets. And, across, be it Agile Coach, Scrum Master, Product Owner, Safe Agile, I mean, Safe Scrum Master, I mean, all these. And as Scrum Masters, I believe we already going, above and beyond each of these, we are already touching. Just a deep dive in terms of the T-shaped skill set would keep us going. And based on the inter-organizational requirements or the openings which would come up that time, we might, bit tailor and, refine and tune ourselves. And that would be the key and trick here, I guess, as you have explained in detail.
Correct, correct. And this is a beautiful point that you have brought, that we will, I mean, we already have those transferable skills. When we were becoming Scrum Masters, also, even then we had some transferable skills, right? So we do have those transferable skills. It's just about channelizing our efforts in what we are interested in, or what the need is, or what you already have, just fine tuning that. And when we say that we want to take up these roles, or maybe these coaching hats, right? What I would say is, instead of applying to organizations or to companies outside, first try it within. Just try to fill the gap wherever you feel there is a gap. Try to uh, create or get some opportunities within your own organization. And once you feel that you are pretty much comfortable, or you would be able to take up those things, is when I would say you can confidently apply outside. Because internally, I am sure that at least what I have seen for myself, no one will ever stop you from taking initiatives. No one will say that if you go to your management and say that, you know what, I want to explore this area, or I have a better ways of solution. Though they would say that this will not work, but they will not never say that don't take any initiatives, right? So try taking initiatives internally, and once you feel that you would be able to pull off is when you try to see outside. Thank you, Vishwanath, for adding
Absolutely.
that.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you, Ramya. Yes. Totally agree with you. Yeah.
Okay. Anything else to talk about, or are we good? All right, then I take it as a no. Thank you everyone for joining us today. Hopefully, we will continue doing sessions as often. Uh, have a nice weekend, and